What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G, here on Industry Talk, and welcome to Primetime Pod, the hottest information resource outlet for all things entertainment, breaking news, celebrity interviews, and the hot topics of the day. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on all social media platforms, our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, you name it, we're on it. Just Google us. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime.
Don't want to do
And he got
shit.
Prime Time 5. Make sure you check it
How? Why the fuck you think he missing? He's 80.
Yeah, and second bill a whole lot.
Now, I'm not trying to get a little messy with you.
Time is money.
out. They go trap.
What's good? What's good? What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G, coming at you all the way live. I'm in your space and I'm in your face, and I'm blessed to be here for another day. We are here on Industry Talk. Another great episode, kicking it in high gear. We are in 2026. It is the second day of January 2026. And we jumping this new year off in high form and in high fashion. We will be here, Industry Talk, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, live at 5. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, live at 5. And we're going to kick this thing off with, of course, our news segment, give you a little bit of what's going on around the world, some quick trending hot topics. In today's trending news, we're going to cover some global conflicts that are taking place. I'm going to give you the little hot and the heavy in Russia, Ukraine war ongoing, and intense fighting and power outages in Ukraine, and discussions about drone attacks. That's what's taking place right now in that area in the Middle East. We have escalating tensions, particularly involving Iran, Yemen, and Gaza, with warnings from the U.S. and regional conflicts. Global events, a deadly bar fire in Switzerland, which I mentioned the other day, potentially started by sparklers going into the new year, and a migrant boat sinking off Gambia. In U.S. news and politics, immigration, new Trump ordered restrictions took effect January 1, on January 1st. Legal and political. Trump's involvement in golf course discussions, legal challenges, and political commentary. Not much there. Social issues, SNAP benefits changes, banning junk food. All right. Rising flu cases, and debate over a California court ruling on open carry gun laws. Let's see how that develops. In business and technology, the electric vehicle situation, EVs, China's BYD has surpassed Tesla in global EV sales for 2025. Artificial intelligence, AI, broad positive outlook for AI stocks in 2026, but concerns about AI regulation definitely persist. Bitcoin reaching new heights, crossing $118,000 in health and lifestyle. Health costs, expiration of ACA health insurance subsides, impacting planned costs. Vaccination studies show delays in childhood vaccinations are linked to lower MMR uptake, measles, mumps, and rubella, if you don't know what the MMR stands for, the acronym. And of course, new laws, various state laws related to hotels, AI, and climate went into effect in 2026. What those various discussions are, we're not going to get into it, but those are the trending topics that are out there for today. The viral word for the year of 2025 was 6-7, and there's still a debate of what the hell it actually really means. Sports news, including college football reactions and pro contracts, trending topic, and true crime stories like an Ohio murder and cold cases. So those are some of the things that were out in the field for trending topics from 2025. That is your trip around the world in under a minute as we push forward on Industry Talk here on the Primetime Network. We have a great show for you today. Some great talk topics. Some really exciting individuals are going to be joining me on the platform today. We're going to be talking to my brother Terry Allred, and we should have Mr. William Husey 365 on IG, who is the proprietor and owner of I Am King magazine. And we'll talk with him as it relates to the artist segment a little bit later on today. I do have some artists that I'll probably make mention to, but we'll see how it all plays itself out here shortly. All right. Okay, so let's see. Make sure if you are not at this point, if you have not subscribed to the Boss Talk Podcast 101 app, Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And here's a little tidbit for you to make sure you lock in with us. Stop what you're doing right now and go subscribe to Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime on YouTube, all social media platforms, Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to make sure you tap in. Right now, over 72,000 subscribers and well over 11 million views and watch time hours. So make sure that you continue to support, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and keep tapping in with us because we're going to keep on bringing you this hot content every day and in every way. It's your main man, Big G. And make sure, like I said, stop what you're doing right now and tap in. Like, share, subscribe. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime. You hear it? You heard it here first. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend and lock in. Jason, Tario, 909, welcome to the live. Double R, Xteen, welcome to the live. We appreciate you for joining. We're going to have a great conversation today. We're going to have a real in-depth talk with my good friend Terry Allred from out of the Carolinas. We're going to jump off into this thing. And keep in mind, we're multi-streaming, simulcasting over all social media platforms. That's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, YouTube, X, you name it, we're on it. All right. Let's see here. And before we get all the way out of the way, this is the Boss Talk Primetime Network. This is Industry Talk, and I rep Boss Talk Podcast 101 in high fashion. And I always give a big shout out to, of course, the proprietors of Boss Talk Podcast 101, Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime, my brother ECEO, and the official Miss Jamaica. So like we do about this time.
It's about that time. We decided we were going to do something a little bit different today, add some different elements to what we already do. It's going down, man. Trying to figure out ways to break the algorithm, man. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to all our channels, all our different platforms. Boss Talk 101, Boss Talk 101 Primetime. It's crazy. We got to get it done, though. Boss Talk 101, where the bosses talk.
Boss Talk 101, where the bosses talk. Y'all know what it is. And speaking of bosses, let me bring my brother into the studio, into the virtual studio. Mr. Terry Allred will be joining us here. Mr. Terry Allred will be joining us here. Let me bring you on into the studio. Make sure we got him locked in. What's going on, brother Allred? How you doing? Can you see me?
Yeah, what's up, my bro? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, my brother. I'm doing great. How are things going out there in North Carolina right now?
Man, everything is lovely out here, man. Weather just crazy, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, Yeah, it's
Okay.
everything is lovely. You know what
Okay,
I'm
crazy.
saying?
What you mean? It's cold right now? Is it a little bit cold, or it's cold and it's hot, or what's going on?
Yeah, it's cold, it's hot, it's warm. You know what I'm saying? That's all. It's crazy right now. That flu type of weather. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Tricky. Want you to
Okay.
hang. Yeah. Want you to hang out when
Gotcha.
you get the coat. Yeah, that type of stuff. Yeah, it's beautiful
Okay.
though. I mean,
Okay.
I'm enjoying it. You know.
Good deal. Good deal. So how you been,
Yeah.
man? We gonna get into it a little bit. I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. We're gonna go back and forth a little bit, but just to give folks a little background on who you are. Tell the audience who Terry Allred is. You know, where you from, what you got going on.
Yeah. How you doing? How y'all doing out there? My name is Terry Allred. I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina, and uh, I got pardoned by Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? I had a life sentence at one time. I got released in 2020. Been home for a couple years now, and sorry about that. Where you at?
It's all right, man. I understand.
Sorry about that, bro.
That's good. We're cool.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Yeah. I had life. I'm home. You know what I'm saying, and I got a lot going on. You know what I'm saying. I'm doing dealing with music, boxing. You know what I'm saying, and a whole lot of good stuff like that. You know what I'm saying. You got a good brother who I'm about to bring on. He out of the city doing a lot of great things. You know what I'm saying. So we here today, to chop it up with him and whatnot. But
Okay.
everything is
Okay.
good.
Right. Well, let's talk before we get to talking about William Husey. Let's dig into Terry Allred right quick. So you made mention to um your situation. You just got released in 2022. You were in federal penitentiary, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I was in
and yeah, you served some fair time. So you were sitting down for about what, 32 years?
yeah, 32 years. I had life without parole.
Life without
Yeah, and
parole. And you had an opportunity for Trump to pardon you. So that's one of the main things that have taken place with your story. And so we have a lot to unpack there, but let's get into how that happened. So what was the real conviction? What did you get sentenced for?
I got I got caught up in a conspiracy. I got a couple of ounces, 156 grams, and they gave me life without parole. You know what I'm saying, for that. And
Right.
like I said, I didn't even have to have got caught with it. You know what I'm saying, just by somebody just saying my name, and that's how I got caught up.
Okay, so you didn't actually have the drugs on you. It was just by word of mouth, and they got caught up in that conspiracy situation, and they indicted you on that.
Yeah, they indicted me on that.
Okay, so let's talk about the federal system in comparison to the state system. Now, with the state, they can bring up charges that are kind of shaky, but with the federal government, 9 times out of 10, they have some true information or some hardcore information that leads up to them wanting to bring you in, or to actually to push out an indictment. So what was it that was so compelling to make them want to push forward with your case? Because that's a lot of money. I say that because that's a lot of money that the government has to invest in time, efforts, energy. So 9 times out of 10, they're not just going to just do something haphazard. they want to make sure that they can get a conviction.
Ain't no doubt. And that's
Yeah.
and that's what they did, you know what I'm saying, by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, I didn't even have nothing. I got caught up in the conspiracy and about a conspiracy that I didn't know nothing about. You know what I'm saying? And here I am facing a life sentence for 156 grams. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
not only that, you being painted as a drug dealer kingpin. You know what I'm saying? But I never got caught with the stuff that they of a drug dealer kingpin. You know what I'm saying? So why would you categorize that to me when I got caught with 156 grams? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I seen my case and I seen a lot of stuff. They did a lot of stuff with my case. You know what I'm saying? To ditch me in here for them 32 years, bro. You know, and a whole lot of other people.
Right. 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 And so in them 32 years, let's say where were you housed? Where exactly were you sitting down at along your journey over those 32 years? Did you move from facility to facility? Were you processed in Oklahoma through central processing? Where did you go?
I did a lot of traveling. Yeah, I did a lot of traveling, man. I was at all the penitentiaries. When I first come in the system, when you got a life sentence, you had to do 10 years before you eligible to even go to anything lower. You know what I'm saying? So when I came in the system, that's what I had to go through. But I've been everywhere. I've been to. But when I come in, wasn't nothing but when I first come in, wasn't nothing but 5 penitentiaries. When I came in, and that was just
Right.
Leavenworth, Park, let's see, Lewisburg, and Marion. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Those were the only ones when I came in. And there's so many of them that you can't even count.
Right. Right.
With the feds.
Okay. And along that journey,
I've been all. You say, brother?
yeah, but I was just listening to you, but I was just asking to learn that along your journey, you've met some very interesting people. You actually served time with what was the reverend or the pastor's name? I can't recall his name. Was it Jimmy Swaggart?
Jim Baker.
Jim Baker.
Yeah, no, Jim Baker. I met a lot. Jim Baker. I met a lot of people, man. I met Matuda Shakur. I met Nicky Scarfo. I met Chickalini. I met Akbar. I met Rayford Edmonds. You know what I'm saying? I met a lot of major players, a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, but when I was in the system,
Okay, so what was that experience like? Meeting Ayatollah Shakur. I done lost you, Terry. I think you might have dropped off there. Okay, well we'll get into it. We'll get Terry back here in just a minute. I think his phone might have dropped off. Is it your Wi-Fi that's messing with you?
No, let me I don't know, let me make sure. Hold up.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Whenever you get back right, I'll bring you back into the studio. All right. Whenever your picture comes back up. Yes, indeed. We're having a great conversation with Terry Allred. He's giving me the ins and outs with what he's gone through over the 32 years. He had a life sentence without the possibility of parole, and all of the different prisons that he actually was engaged in, and some of the things that he went through. We're going to talk to him about him meeting Shakur, Rayford Edmonds, and a couple others. We're going to get to the conversation once his picture comes back on live. Big shout out to my brother Keith Wallace. Keith Wallace, thank you for joining the live. Elite Sports Empowerment. What's going on, Brother Demps? Welcome to the live. It's good to see you brothers here participating in the live. I'm talking with my brother Terry Allred, very good friend of mine from North Carolina who served 32 years. He was pardoned by Donald Trump in 2020. Got an opportunity to get out. Just to give you a little bit of the backstory, he was sentenced in a conspiracy for 6 ounces of crack cocaine. And of course, back during the crack era, you know, they gave pretty harsh sentences. And of course, he was dubbed as a kingpin back then. But based on what he's told me in our conversations, that wasn't the case. Although within the federal system and within the confines of the federal system, they're not just going to press an issue on an individual if in fact they don't have real information on you. Okay, looks like Terry's back. You back, Terry? You good?
Yeah, everything
Okay.
good.
Okay. Turn your phone sideways for me, man. Turn your phone horizontal so we can lock you in.
Get it?
Yeah, you're good to go. Good to go.
Okay.
So let's get back into it, Terry, because you said you had the opportunity to meet Shakur. How was that experience, man? You had the opportunity to meet Shakur and Rayful Edmond. Give me a little background on how those meetings came about, and what was the discussion? You know, what were you guys engaging in? What were you guys talking about?
Yeah, I met Matuda Shakur. He was a great friend. You know what I'm saying? We used to work out a lot together, and jogging and stuff like that. Just talking about a lot of things. Before Tupac had went to death row, you know what I'm saying, and he didn't want a Tupac to go to no death row. He didn't even want to mess with Suge Knight, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Me and him used to talk about stuff like that when Tupac should come down and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he was a great dude, man. Great dude.
Yeah.
Great
Right.
dude. You know what I'm saying? But when we tried to talk, you know what I'm saying, he can't really talk. They had his cell so wide up and stuff like that, so we had to leave outside the cell and stuff like that. You can't really talk in his room. But he was a great dude, and he
Right.
passed away, I think, like 2 years ago, in July.
Okay.
Came home and passed away with cancer,
That's right.
which he was
That's right.
fighting. He was fighting when we was in penitentiary together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about Rayful Edmond, man? Give me a little background on Brother Edmond and how discussions with him actually went and some of the things that he was talking about, and also when as you guys progressed throughout the term that you were there, what was the underlining conversation as it relates to how the hell did I end up here? Why am I here? And what kind of message can I give to individuals once I get out of here? If in fact I ever get out of here.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I was there, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I met Rayful. I met Rayful Edmond when he came in 1989. He came in from
Okay.
Marion. And you know, we had I was on the basketball team. He had a basketball team, so that's how I met him and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? He bought a team. Hey, everybody got teams and stuff like this. So he had a whole team. He bought a whole team with the DC mob and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
that's how I got to meet him. You know, before he turned and started snitching. You know what I'm saying, and doing stuff like that, setting up the institution and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
He was a thorough good dude then. You know what I'm saying? Before he did a lot of stuff, you know, because he fucked the feds up. You know what I'm saying, when he did all that telling and shit, setting people up and whatnot inside the penitentiaries.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Give me a little
I
background on that.
learned.
No, because a lot of people might not necessarily understand what you're saying as it relates to what he actually did. He was actually exposing what the federal government was doing, what the police corruption was like, or was he out on the street as a confidential informant? What was going on?
Yeah, he was telling what he did. He set up a lot of other kingpin type guys that, you know what I'm saying, that was in the feds, uh, trying to get his mother out of prison.
Okay.
So what he did, he cooperated with the feds, you know what I'm saying, and tried to get the time off his mother. So that's when he started telling, you know what I'm saying, and setting people up and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, he took down a lot of people. You know, he told about how everybody should do this and that and the third on the phones and all this type of stuff. That's why the phone system the way it is and throughout the federal system and stuff
Mhm.
like that. He gave
Mhm.
up a lot of stuff. But I think I heard
Okay.
he say I think he passed away or something, didn't he? I heard.
Well, I mean,
I think
I'm
I
not
ain't
sure.
sure.
I do believe so. I do believe so. But
Yeah, I think he got out
I
to
really
pass
hadn't followed
away.
the yeah, I really hadn't followed the
Yeah.
story like that. That's why I really don't know. That's why it's surprising to me to hear that when you said that. But at the same time, I mean, you served a good bit of time with him in the federal penitentiary. So, I mean, you had in-depth
Yeah.
knowledge in terms of what was going on. So,
Yeah,
give me a
Dr.
little bit
Real
of
Life.
background, man, because you said you were there with Jim Baker
Mm-hmm.
as well, and of course, Jim Baker was the preacher
He was
that
a
was
multi-millionaire preacher.
yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah,
he had a
multi.
situation with the kids or something like that, wasn't he? Wasn't he molesting kids or something?
No, he was
Or was it
no, he
embezzlement?
did-
Was
took
it
a he took a
embezzlement?
lot of money from the churches.
Okay, so he was he was an embezzlement
Yeah, yeah,
situation.
he had a big embezzlement case. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day,
Right.
that's when I was in, we was in Talladega together.
Uh-huh.
I met him
Uh-huh.
in Talladega. Yeah, he had a big case. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He had a big case. Yeah, I was there with Yahweh. You heard of Yahweh?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Yahweh. I was there with Yahweh. Well, quite a few people, but you know what I'm saying. But prison made me a better person, man. You know what I'm saying. I went in at a young age. Hard headed. You know what I'm saying. And whatnot. But I learned a lot and learned who loved me. And everything. You know what I'm saying. So I'm
Right.
definitely a better person, and
Mm.
that's why I made it sure that I come out here and try to help everybody that I can help and speak with because I've been there and done that. You know what I'm saying? I've been up in
Right.
there. And Mr.
Right.
Keith
Now,
Wallace,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, definitely talk about Q.
yeah, I was just saying, Mr. Keith Wallace, he really know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So he know we was in the belly of the beast together, and
Right.
it ain't no joke. You know what I'm saying? That's something
Right.
that you don't want to experience. And I promise you this, I never in my life go through that again. But
Right.
sometimes you had to go through the bad to get to the good. So I went through it. So I'm on the good side now.
Right, right. And you because we've talked before, and you said that you formed relations or got in good with one of the mob families. Was it the Bonanno family? Was it the um which which
Uh,
which faction?
it was Nicky Bonds,
Okay,
Herbie, yeah, Herbie, Ciccolini. They out of
the
Philadelphia.
Chickamauga
The mobs
family.
out of Philly.
Okay,
Yeah, the mobs out of Philadelphia. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Yeah, they
right.
took they took me they took me up under their wing when I had did that demonstration with the dude in Oklahoma when
Yeah,
the dude I stabbed up. Yeah, it was like a week or two. You know what I'm saying? They went to my homeboys and let them know that they was gonna look out for me and look out for me, take care of me, keep me out the way. So
right,
so I started going down where they had it. They stayed down. I mean, where they downstairs in the basement, but it looked like a like a restaurant. That's how they had it looking downstairs. We was in Lewisburg. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
So I went down there every day, they cooked every day and stuff like that, hung out with them, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, playing tennis. That's when the feds were the feds. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Yeah, I met a lot of great people, man. A lot of great people. A lot of great people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that you out, you out at this point, 32 years. Um, you had an opportunity because you prepared your writ. You actually made a request to Obama initially to pardon you, but they denied you, right?
Right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what compelled Trump to actually move forward with giving you that pardon and actually releasing you in 2020?
Well, I guess. Well, I guess Trump looked at the time that I did, and all of the certificates that I got. You know what I'm saying, which like over 1,000. You know what I'm saying, and putting together programs and stuff throughout the prisons and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying. I did, do a lot of that with other people. You know what I'm saying. So the same. So the same writ, the same. I did a writ to same writ I did to Obama. You know what I'm saying. I did it to Trump. You know what I'm saying. And like I said, Trump, he granted it. You know what I'm saying, and released me.
Right.
And that's why I'm here today. That's why I'm here
Okay.
today. You know what I'm saying. So I'm, s- and I'm glad to be here. Trying to do some good things for our communities and things like that.
Right, right. And I'm glad you're out. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that
Yeah,
you
thank you.
that you back out doing your thing. And because I just don't want to see any of our brothers and sisters locked up behind bars, for no extended period of time or for any reason. But um that's the system that they've created when they're talking about um trying to correct a wrong, so to speak, or to punish someone when it's supposed to be rehabilitation. They're supposed to be
Right.
practicing rehabilitation. But as well as I know, once you
Sit
go
down.
behind those bars, it's much like a gladiator school. You go out a much harder criminal.
Right.
You learn from different criminals how to game the system. Am I wrong? Am I correct? Or talk to me.
You definitely right. You
Yeah.
know, You- yeah, you definitely right. You come in. I mean, you learn everything that
Yeah.
you can. This is one of the biggest college that you can learn whatever you need to learn. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
like I said, I chose the the life. You know what I'm saying, to come home and do the right thing, because I got, we
Right.
all got nieces and nephews and mothers and fathers, stuff like that, man. We trying to get back to take
Mhm.
care and stuff like that. So that's what's on my
Right.
mind and helped push me a lot, to get to
Mhm.
where I'm at today.
Yeah,
you
and
know
this penitentiary system, this university of hard knocks, a lot of times, and in many cases, um, our brothers and sisters don't make it out. They're killed behind
oh
bars,
yeah,
or they die
ain't no
behind
doubt.
bars. So talk to me
Yeah,
about some of
ain't
those experiences that you've actually witnessed firsthand. You know what I'm saying? Because you made mention to, the demonstration, but we're not going to sit there and tap too much into it. I don't want you to have to, go off into that. But you've been a part of, hey man, this is how I've got to survive.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no doubt. You know what I'm saying? Being in the penitentiaries and stuff like that, man, it turns you into, uh, you know what I'm saying? You have to protect yourself, because, like I said, you in the belly of the beast with so many other beasts, you don't know if you gonna make it out or not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a thinking, it's a thinking man game, constant thinking man game. And then you got somebody coming off the street, you know what I'm saying, who a warrior. You got to be a warrior all over again. Go through all these different types of things again. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a place, man. It's not a place to to be. And you know what I'm saying. Being locked up or anything like that, bro. Freedom the freedom is, people really don't know what they're missing until they had to go through it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And not only
Right.
that, the system the system don't even play fair. The system play just as dirty as we do. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And they playing for bigger change. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's for them that money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all they playing for. And people
Right.
see a lot of stuff, man. So they not playing about the prison system, bro. And they putting us in it. All we doing is killing ourselves.
Yeah.
It's killing
Yeah.
ourselves on all levels. On all levels,
Hmm.
even in the prison system. They got guys up in there that been there when I first went in there, brother. They still in there.
Right. Right.
stuff like that, bro. So it's
And
serious.
so you're looking at a situation when we're talking about the prison system in itself. Um, each cell, each room, each bed, they want to make sure that every last one of those cells and every last one of those beds is filled because they get paid for that. They get subsidized for that.
Yeah.
They get whether it's a private institution, federal institution, they get paid for
Yeah.
the institution being full.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you know, in as an inmate, that's pretty much you becoming an indentured servant or a slave to a degree because you know, I mean, you're not making any money while you're in prison. You know, I mean, you got work details and things of that nature, but you know, that's fractional pennies on the dollar in terms of what you're making. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whether you're working in the child hall, whether you doing janitorial service, whether you're working out, you know, doing clean detail. I mean, you're not making no real money.
Nah,
So
you're
you
not
also
making no
have
real
to,
money.
yeah. You gotta hustle while you're in there. So people wonder, well, how they smuggling drugs into the system? How they smuggling telephones into the system? You know, cigarettes and tobacco and different things. You know, believe me, there's got to be a coordinated effort between the COs and the inmates
And
and the
ain't no doubt.
wardens to make that shit really happen.
Yeah. Yeah, because can't nothing get in, you know what I'm saying, unless you let it in, you know what I'm saying? So that's what they do.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, everything
Okay.
like everything coming through. Like nowadays, right now, like now, yeah, everything always be coming through the COs and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So they got their hands in a lot of their stuff too. You know what I'm saying? They has to be on the yard because if you ain't got drugs on the yard, that shit gonna really be everybody gonna really be killing themselves. Killing
Right.
and doing this and then the third. So they do all of that, the phones, the telephones, all that. You know.
Right. Right.
So
Right. Okay.
nowadays, the phone, they look like they don't even write you up for a phone. They got so many in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
So let's
Yeah.
talk about this, Terry, because you've been out since 2002. I mean 2020.
Right.
My apologies, 2020.
Yeah.
And you've made some major connections while you're out. You already made some major connections while you're in, but now that you're out on the streets, you've been working with me, Freeway Records, our brother Ricky Ross, Freeway Ricky Ross, Ayatollah Melvin Farmer with you know, gloves up, guns down situation, and you guys go out and you do motivational talks with the school systems and different individuals expressing and telling your story, giving your testimony. How has that been? Because you guys have gone to North Carolina, you've come to Mississippi, you've been doing your thing in Memphis. You know, you guys are going around doing a lot of talking and expressing, hey man, I've gone through it. You know, this is my story. And whether you like it or not, this is a real testimony of what I've gone through. Give me a little bit of background about that and how that has been impacting, you know, not only your life, but different individuals, whether it be teenagers, grown men, whomever the case may be, you pushing that message and that narrative. Give me a little background on
Right.
that, Terry.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah, I definitely been pushing that real tough, Galen, you know what I'm saying? Because our
Yeah,
youth and stuff right here is man, they lost for real, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
then they need to really know what's going on because they don't know, you know, you stepping into this type of world right here, bro. They playing for keeps and they don't even know it. And to them people telling you, you got a life sentence, you got 85 years, you got this, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, your people they don't know you're gonna get them type of time, that type of time and stuff like that. So you have to, you know what I'm saying, we got to keep ourselves and take and get more control of our kids and things of that nature, man, and try to keep them up out of here because like I said, brother, this thing is very serious. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And
right,
they just start giving youth life sentence,
yeah,
and they was doing it for a lot of the states stopped it, but yeah, but they they was doing all of this. So the journey's been rough, but at the same time, like I said, it's been good because I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? I met a lot of people, and I better myself. You know what I'm saying? I got a few little degrees, doing a lot of stuff since I've been up in here and stuff. So
Yeah.
like
And
I said,
speaking of that youth situation, talking about the youth, our brother Keith got caught up in that same type of nonsense at a very young age, 14 years old.
uh,
Of course, he was falsely accused of robbery and battery on an elderly, and he was sentenced to 6 years, and he ended up having to serve time in a penitentiary. They didn't send him to a
right.
youth correctional facility, or something for like a um, uh, something for juvenile detention center or anything like. They sent him to the pen. So just like
That's
what you were
crazy.
saying, them handing out life sentences to youth at this point, based on what it is, the crime that they may commit or may not commit. That's kind of crazy, don't you think, Terry? I mean, what
Yeah,
do
man.
we have to do to speak to that system, or speak to the system, or talk to our people to be like, hey man, this shouldn't be going on. There's no way that you should be sending kids into adult detention facilities knowing that they're susceptible to a lot of things,
Yeah,
and they're not prepared. They're not grown men. They're not prepared for that.
the key,
Regardless of what you may think they may have done out on the street, they're not prepared for what is going to come along the lines or down the line in an adult facility. You got a 14,
right.
15-year-old serving time with 26, 27, 28-year-old people and older.
Yeah, and I seen it, bro. I seen it a lot, especially with a lot of the. I seen it a lot with a lot of brothers coming out of DC, Washington DC.
Yeah,
Yeah, they had a lot. Yeah, I seen it like really a lot of. They had a lot of young cats like that, man. Cause everything in DC is phase.
yeah,
So they sent all these they sent all these young dudes, man, to the feds and stuff like that, man. You know what I'm saying? And adult and these crazy supermax penitentiaries, man, where they killing and stuff like that, and these little youngsters getting caught up in all this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? People got to understand, man. They locking the blacks up, man. You know what I'm saying? It's always
right,
gonna be a
right,
thing against us, man. You know what I'm saying? For some, it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's all. It's a thing against us, man. They got us by all angles. I don't care where that. Even in the penitentiary, we get treated bad or whatever. This and that. A lot of stuff goes on up in there. So that's why, we got to stay up out of there and knowledge the youth about what's going on inside these penitentiary. Because if you don't, you're gonna end up in here in these adult spread with dudes putting knives around your neck trying to rape you and shit like that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's a
And
whole lot of
that's
that.
real. That's not no fake shit. That's no bullshit. That's real shit that's going on.
Ain't no doubt. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah,
seen it a lot. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Now the only thing you can do is just walk past it. You know what I'm saying?
hmm,
Because that ain't my business. You hear me?
right.
But yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
yeah,
something
so
that you got to learn while you're in there. They mind your damn business.
got to mind your business. You know what I'm saying? You in that gang
Mhm.
shit, they got something for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right,
going up in there, you do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tell nobody. You got to do what you got to do. But the best thing to do, the only way you gonna get up out of there, bro, you got to really change your ways and the way you used to dealing with things to get up out of there. Because if you don't, you're gonna die up in that jump.
right.
Or either get some more time, And
Yeah,
that's what be happening. Happening every
right.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm so
Okay,
glad I made
well,
it up out of there.
now, yeah, I'm glad you did too, bro. I'm glad you did too. So let's talk about the record label. Let's talk about Freeway Records and what we've got going on with the artists that we're working with in Carolina. I'm going to segue from that because I really don't like to bring you down that road because you're free at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to sit there and just rehash old memories. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I know who you are. You know what I mean? I know your history. I know what you've done behind bars, you know what I'm saying? Because we've talked about it. I know what you had to do to survive. So I don't want to sit there and engage in that and have you talk too much about all of that because you've done so much positive since 2020, since you've been touched down on Freedom Rock. And one of those things is working with, the artists that we've been working with Azo Capone, Dia Moore, Carolina, Passport Scoob, and some of the others. You got a country singer under your belt, and of course we're supposed to be talking with William Husey today, who is the proprietor of I Am King magazine, and you've got a featured article in that magazine for 2026. That's going to be dropping here pretty soon. So talk to me about all of that stuff.
Yeah, man, I got a lot of stuff going on, man. Positive stuff, with the music and, just doing a lot of positive stuff. And and I got a spread in the I Am King magazine, telling my life story, a little bit about myself and stuff like that. And putting myself out there more, things like that. But yeah, man, everything is going great. And with the music and stuff like that, I'm really trying to get into this Afro beat, this Afro beat thing, So doing it, really been doing a lot of that.
Well, I mean, we kind of tapped into it. We've got our artist Regine Garnier out of the UK, and she's definitely into that Afro beats style of music, and she's doing fantastic. One of her songs just charted, I think, number 25 over there on the UK charts, and she's really strong, and we've been assisting her with her thing. So talk to me a little bit about Regine, man, and how that connection kind of happened, and then you brought it to the table, and we started really pushing fast forward on her.
I met. I had a conversation with a friend, and he had told me about her. You know what I'm saying, that she can really sing, sing and stuff like this, and this and that and the third. So I got her information, and I hit her up one day, and we got to chop it up, and man, you know what I'm saying, we became good friends, man. Really, started talking a lot, you know what I'm saying, about a lot of things, and but when I heard her sing, bro, that shit blew me away. You know what I'm saying, man? She's a master. She a beast. You know what I'm saying? And Galen to tell you, this girl, she like that. She sing, she do Afro beat, she do all different, she do R&B, she do it all. But she really did her thing, and she really did her thing. And I got like I say, I got a lot of stuff, ahead of me coming out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't tailgating about the club. One of my partners, about to do this club thing. I'm trying to get it on, get on that right there, so we can start bringing more action to the city and stuff like that. And also to the magazine with my brother William Hustle 365. Same thing, you know what I'm saying? Good brother. So, we just doing some great things, man, showing great work, you know what I'm saying, amongst the community and stuff like that, man, showing that we can help each other to push to go on in the limit we need to go on together.
Right. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Okay, Terry, man, look, bro. We talk at least once or twice a week. I love having conversation with you. We always chopping up ideas, bringing some different things to the table. Got to get you back out here to Mississippi, of course, so we can continue to do what we're doing. How is Dia Moore, Carolina doing? How's my girl Dia Moore doing?
Man, she called me tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, she get ready to do a release, a launch release, and she telling me she want to try to get Freeway, you know what I'm saying, and get with you and trying to trying to get him out there to the thing where he can do some book signings and things like that, you know what I'm saying. So I told her we can work, we can jump on that, you know what I'm saying. She said she gonna call you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but she doing
I'm
her thing.
I'm always open to. Yeah, I'm always open to work with Dia Moore, man. She's a special artist, a special talent, great voice. She's definitely an entertainer. She's definitely an
Hmm.
entertainer. She's good at what she does. So last but not least, let's talk about Azo Capone.
Yeah, that's my bro. That's one of my other artists. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's another beast. You know what I'm saying? He putting some stuff together. He putting a lot together. You know what I'm saying? And before we can go on to get this stuff popping, because it's
yeah.
been a minute. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I had to bring him on board to the on the label. But I'm letting the world, in this, I'm letting the Carolina know, the South know. You know what I'm saying? That we definitely looking for some great artists. You know what I'm saying? That we can help along the way. You know what I'm saying? And Galen is a great boss with that. You know what I'm saying? And we work really good together. So yeah, that's what we on. And so
Hmm.
I'll be coming through the clubs and whatever, this and then the third. So I'm looking. So anybody out there, you got some hot stuff going on, y'all holler at me. You know what I'm saying? Terry Allred too
That's right.
on Instagram.
That's right. That's right. On Instagram, Terry Allred too. That's right. So Terry, before we sign off, before we get out of this thing,
Happen.
is there anything that you need to bring to the table you want to talk to the people about? You done dropped off on me, Terry. You done dropped out
Yeah,
on
that's
me.
what I'm. Yeah, man, it went out on me, man. I seen it when it went out. I'm sitting here looking at it. You feel me? I'm trying to get
That's
back
okay.
now.
That's okay. That's all right. That's all
Oh,
right.
here
Somebody
it is.
must have called you. There you
No,
go.
I ain't found. No, I don't. No, they won't get no answer. They won't get no answer. You hear me?
Yes, it
What you
did.
say
Yes, it
that? What you
did. But
say
yeah,
that,
man.
Galen?
Yeah, before we
What?
before we sign off, man. Anything you need to present to the public, let the people know about what you got going on. Anything else that you got going on. I mean, because we could sit there and talk all day, but then again, I just want to introduce going into 2026. My brother Terry Allred, how close we're working with what we've got going on. Is there anything that I might have missed? From the magazine to the record label to the artists that we're dealing with, a little bit of your background. Is there anything that I might have missed? We're not going to talk about some of them crazy people that you done dealt with.
No, we ain't gonna
we,
do that.
we ain't gonna make mention. We ain't
No,
gonna
we
make
ain't gonna
mention
do
to some. Yeah, we ain't gonna make mention of that. But I mean that
that.
was more comical than funny. But you know what I'm saying. I mean, hey, it is what it is. But is there anything that we need to bring to the public attention about, what Terry's got going on that I might have missed in our conversation today? Because you're gonna be on this thing on the regular with me, as we do this
Ain't no
virtual
doubt.
thing. And also, I want people to remember to go check out your Boss Talk Podcast 101 interview with ECEO and Miss Jamaica as well.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, everything is like I said, I got everything is good. I got a lot of stuff going on, trying to do the movie thing and all
Right.
that good stuff like that. You know what I mean? And just a great vibe, you know what I'm saying? And really just trying to work and touch them kids, you know what I'm saying? Because man, it's rough, boy. It ain't like when we was coming up, you know what I'm saying? And
Right. Right.
that's one of the
Yeah.
main thing that I'm trying to really work on, because we looking at stuff, man, that we ain't never seen in our life. You know what I'm saying? The shit
Right.
that they doing, stuff like that, man. And we got to do something. So I want to be a part of that and keep doing what I can push out with that at the tame time, and try to get some good music out here. Like I said, I'm looking for artists. I'm looking for some actors, fighters, boxers, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So trying to
Yeah.
do this thing. We need y'all to come on over here on Freeway Rick Records.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what's happening. That's what's happening,
Yeah.
man. Well, I appreciate you. I don't know what happened to Brother Husey. I did send him
Oh
the
yeah.
link.
Uh-huh.
Whenever you get off the phone with me, hit him up and ask him what happened. Maybe we'll follow up next week sometime. You know what I'm saying? Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm here live at 5 every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday live at 5. But hey man, it's always a pleasure talking with you, Terry.
Ain't no doubt, my bro.
And giving bits and pieces of your story and your history, because one thing that I can say, you know what I'm saying, you had life without the possibility of parole. You served 32 years, and you made it through, my brother. You know what I mean? You made it. You made it out. And you're here to actually be able to tell your story, to be able to tell young brothers and sisters, hey man, this is not what you want in your life, you know. And you know, we talked about this the other day because for some odd reason, you know, and you know me, man. You know my background, you know a little bit about what I've gone through. And I'm hearing everybody on that statement, you know, F the streets. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm condoning it. I'm not saying that I'm agreeing with the conversation. I understand what they're trying to say. I truly understand what they're trying to say. But if they've never been a part of it, because a lot of these cats that are in the entertainment industry, they weren't really in the streets. They weren't. When I say in the streets, where did hip hop spurn from? It came from the streets. Where did our culture come from in terms of, you know, what we were struggling and fighting for, and things that, because everything that came from the streets wasn't necessarily just the poison side of it, or, you know, the crack or the heroin or the this, that, and other. Yes, there are a lot of elements of the streets that we don't want to face or deal with, but you always are going to have those elements of the streets. So to say F the streets, you kind of cutting off the lifeline of people who are still in the streets, who are still impoverished, who are still in a bad place and trying to get out of those places. I can't sit there on my high perch and be like, hey man, you know, fuck what y'all got going on. I done made it. No, what is the thing that we have to do to eliminate that part of it, so that, you know, there's a gateway out of, you know, poverty. There's a gateway out of the projects. There's a gateway out of having to sell dope in the streets. Because if I'm hungry, if I don't have clothes, if I can't put food in my kid's belly or whatever, shit, a man gonna go get it for his family. No matter how you're gonna go to the streets, no matter how you might think about it, or, you know, hey, I can't go get this job, or I can't do this and that. No, they gonna go to the streets and actually. So talk to me about that side of it, Terry, because a lot of times they make these statements and they're forgetting that there are some true hardships, you know. And my brother Keith says all the time, you know what I'm saying, I'm not a product of my environment, I'm a product of my choices. So yes, you do have the choice, but sometimes those choices that we make and the choices that we have to put on our own backs, it has nothing to do with what you might be seeing in your lily white room or up on your high perch. Shit, I'm down here in the gutter. I'm down here in a situation where I'm destitute, and there's nobody that is actually helping to pull me up. So how do I pull myself through this fire when my kid is starving? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, and we had to go back to the streets. Everything is to the streets. You can't say fuck the streets and this, none of that. You know what I'm saying? The streets build everything that we got going on right now today. You know what I'm saying? The streets. You know what I'm saying? So what we got to do is just we got to keep turning it into a positive thing that is where it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of positive come from the streets. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop come from the streets. You know what I'm saying? We come from the streets. Our parents come from the streets. Our people come from the jungle, the streets, the woods, all that type of stuff. So all that shit is the street. So you can't never ever disrespect nobody and saying fuck the streets and stuff like that, because that's where it started. Only people can say that is the ones who ain't never walked it. Who ain't did nothing, who ain't, you know what I'm saying, who got the easy way out. You know what I'm saying? We ain't get the easy way out. We come up the way, a hard fucking way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, a lot of these kids these days, they got it too easy.
Yeah. So can we put on to that, you know, as a way to transform it, is we need to educate the streets. We need to put ourselves, instead of fuck the streets, we need to educate the streets in terms of knowing that, hey, the Black Power movement and the Black Panther movement and the NOI movement, and these
All
different
that's the
elements
street.
that spurned from watching our kids being abused, watching our kids in our during the civil rights movement or during that era. You know what I'm saying? Because Martin Luther King was in the streets. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Malcolm X was in the streets. It's not like they were just sitting on the high perch or in Congress or in the Senate just trying to tell folks what to do. No, they were walking in the streets because they saw the oppression. They saw everything that we were going through, and they said, hey, man, we need to change. We need to make a positive change from what it is that we're doing. We need to educate our kids. We need to have these food programs to give our kids breakfast, lunch, and dinner because they don't have it in their homes. A lot of these things came from that because they saw that they were hypodermic needles, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And the possibility of a kid picking up a needle and just not knowing what it is and injecting themselves, and the possibility of getting HIV because of an intravenous needle that's been used by some junkie or whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of elements that we have to talk about outside of just saying, hey, fuck the street. You have to really break it all the way down. To, what's really the root cause of why we're dealing with a street element in street culture and why people are doing what it is that they're doing. Now, yes, you have some people that are doing it out of greed. We know that. You have some people that are out there committing crimes because everything isn't a criminal element. It's an impoverished element. Hey, man, I'm suffering with not being able to pay my rent. I'm suffering with not being able to get a job because this particular company is not going to hire me because of the color of my skin. Those things are really happening. These are things that, we're looking at stuff present day in this millennia in 2025, 2026, as though back in 1930, 1940, 50, 60, 70, 80s, and the early 90s, like it was sweet. No, it was not. It was not. People had hard times and still dealing with hard economic times right now. So that's right. So if you don't have an economic answer, if you don't have a way out, and there are some ways, we can, you got the military, you've got trade schools, you've got education, but everybody's not built for that. What are the other elements can we put into place to indoctrinate onto our people and show them that education is the way, not F the streets, but let's educate the streets.
That's right.
Talk to him before we get out of here.
Well, yeah, we definitely got to we definitely got to educate because that's the only way we gonna win, Galen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Educating them the right way, you know what I'm saying? Because like I say, I don't care what what they saying, everything come from the streets. You know what I'm saying? Soul Train come from the streets. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King come from the streets. You know what I'm saying? What's the Muslim brother name?
Malcolm X. All of them.
Malcolm X come from the street. You know what I'm saying? Everybody came to the street and became great leaders, bro. Great leaders. We got a lot of great leaders, you know what I'm saying, come from the street. And you definitely can't disrespect, them. And not only that, our ancestors, bro, the ones who who got raped and nuts cut out and pussy, stomach and all that stuff, man. We come from the streets, man. So you can't. There's a whole lot. When you speaking like that, bro, you got to be careful how you speaking with that, because those are big words to carry there.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. Just be great that you're here, and you know what I'm saying, and don't treat other people, trick other people out what they got going on, and let them live. But the streets gonna always be what it is. You're gonna always, and you can't nobody take it away from you. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is.
Okay. Well, Terry, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for joining me today. It's always a great conversation with you. And when you get an opportunity, when you get off the phone with me, make sure you jump online with William and ask him what happened and see if we can reschedule for another time. All right?
Okay, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, cause I ain't know what was going on, but it's all good.
It's all good, man. I mean, we carried it. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? Our
sir.
conversation carried it the way it needed to carry. We've been talking for an hour. You ain't just don't know. We've been
Oh,
talking for an hour.
yeah. Yeah, that's great. We got it in. You know what I'm saying? Every Friday.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I
Yeah.
appreciate you, Brother Terry, and I'll talk with you later, my brother.
I ain't no doubt. I appreciate you as well. Have a great day.
Yes, indeed, my brother. You do the same.
All right.
And have a great new year, man. Blessings to you and the family.
Ain't no doubt. Likewise.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. I've been talking with Mr. Terry Allred, Brother Terry Allred, my good friend, my good brother, man. Always good to talk to Terry about what he's got going on. And I'm not going to hold you for too much longer. But it's serious out here. It's real out here about a lot of things that are happening and are taking place. And yes, you're right. You got to watch what you say. For artists, I got something for you. Are you an independent artist looking for real exposure and an honest discussion about your music and your brand? If this is you, and if that's the case, I am currently accepting submissions for my Friday Artist Spotlight segment on Industry Talk, where I highlight rising independent artists, discuss your journey, along with putting your work in front of a growing audience of content creators, executives, and tastemakers. To submit your information, follow the content submission link in my bio on Instagram, or follow the link in the description on Facebook. So this is about real artists, real stories, and real opportunities. If you're working, building, and you're serious about your craft, I definitely want to hear. And as always, beautiful people, this is about health, wealth, and blessings. Stay down. And that is for my artists, my independent artists. If you are interested in making some things happen, you want to get linked in, and you want to get yourself profiled on Industry Talk, and you heard the segment. Let's get into the conversation. Let's get your messaging out there to a real audience. All right. I was talking with my good friend Terry Allred, and I'm trying to tell you people, I'm not saying that I condone what's taking place in the streets. Don't get me wrong. I know where I came from. My mother was, single mother, 3 kids, school teacher. She struggled. So I know where I came from. And one thing that I know I had to do was get educated. I had to educate myself. I had to learn. I had a bunch of different choices. I had some options I could have taken, but I knew the route that I had to take in order to get myself out of the situation that we were in. I'm not knocking anyone that is doing what they have to do to survive. If you're pushing poison in your community, yes, I knock that. I definitely knock pushing poison into the community. If you are raping and molesting kids, you're a pedophile, yes, I'm definitely knocking that. If you are committing murders without justification, and people say, oh, well, what do you mean by that, G? Well, if you do something to my family, if you do something against my person, if I have to protect myself, that's a whole different conversation. But if you just arbitrarily shooting into a crowd and there's no name on that bullet, then yeah, these are things that I can definitely have issues with But there again, I may not know your story. I may not know your psyche. I may not know what you're going through. So I can't condone you for what you don't know. But if I could educate you based on what I've gone through in my life, to put you in a situation where you could have some true understanding about how to move in society and to be a humanitarian and to be a better individual, yes, I stand on that. I definitely stand on that. Always have, always will. Because I'm not here to fuck over anybody. I'm not here to do anybody wrong or treat anybody in a bad way. We know what's right, what's righteous, and what's wrong. We ain't talking about religion. We ain't talking about what you believe in. No, as a human being, I know how to treat another human being. That's real simple. So when we start to engage in these conversations and we hear these buzzwords that people are putting out there, these entertainers are putting buzzwords out there because they've made it, so to speak, or they think they've made it out of the entrapped system that we've been placed in to a degree, then what is the recourse? What is the response in terms of what can you give that young individual outside of those empty words? Because that's rhetoric to me. That's just empty conversation. You're speaking hyperbole. And these people don't understand this. What can you give me that's going to teach me not to go down that path? And on the other side of that, what are you going to do to assist me in gaining the commerce that I need to help take care of my family? Because until you do that, it's just empty conversation. Until you put a kid in a situation to whereas they can branch off into real growth, real development, real understanding for self, all that understanding, all that other stuff, you got to miss me with it. Because you're not educating them to the point to where you're showing them how to not go down this road, which is a negative road, how to stay in the positive light of your life and become the person that you're born to be. And that's a great individual. Every mind, every body, every soul. You're here on this planet for a reason. You've been chosen. You just haven't been told what it is that you've been chosen for. You haven't experienced the facts of why you've been chosen. You haven't found what your why is. You understand? So it's hard to come through on the other side when you don't even know what your purpose is. Sometimes people have to be told what that is. They have to be educated. And if you're not offering the education and you're just giving some buzzwords because that's how you feel for the day, yeah, well, like I said, you got to miss me with that. You've got to give me mentorship programs where we have men that are in our community showing young men how to be grown men, adult men. We have to have grown women in mentorship programs showing our young women how to be grown women and how to really survive. So you're not going to take my words out of context and take sound bites of what I'm saying and try to use it or twist it and say, well, I don't give two flying fucks about what somebody says that I said. You're hearing exactly what I'm stating. It's about securing our people. It's about securing the human race so that we don't fall off into a civil war of extinction, battling ourselves, a genocide of self. Let that sink in. I live in Mississippi. The Klan's not killing black folk, present day. And we never really worried about the Klan back then either, but they're not out here killing us. We're out here killing us. And until we rectify that and unify and put ourselves into position to where as we move as one, a coalition of one, knowing that I'm here supporting and on behalf of my brother and my sister, then miss me with dead conversation. If in fact you want to reach out to my brother Keith Wallace, hit me up. We can get you locked in with my brother Keith, filling his schedule for 2026. I'll lock you in with Regina Lindsay to get into your city. He will be dropping his information about when he'll be releasing his book, Unshaken. We're getting to that. But if in fact you want to book Keith for concerts, motivational speaking, and the like, definitely reach out to us. We'll get you stuck like glue.
Mr. Bars himself, the messenger, Keith Wallace, touching down in your city. Let's work. Lock in for features, meet and greet, live performances, product promotion, and speaking engagements. Keith Wallace is unloading a full clip with his lyrical content. His testimony is life-changing. Every word he speaks is truth. Visit our website at keithwallace.org and sign up for our newsletter today. For information and availability, contact Big G at 808-225-9063.
Indeed, reach out to me. We'll get you linked in with Regina and we'll get you on Keith's schedule. I definitely had a really good time talking with my brother Terry Allred today. Brother Terry Allred has gone through it, been through it, lived it, and is still living it. 32 years. Yeah, was sentenced to life in prison. Got out 32 years sitting down, pardoned by Donald Trump. And I just enjoy having conversations with Terry. Terry's a very knowledgeable individual. And like I said, man, a lot of my brothers and sisters, a lot of my friends have done some hard time. And to sit down and hear their stories, to hear what they've gone through, to hear about how they made it through, it's empowering. It's refreshing to know that these brothers are still sharp, strong-minded, and willing to give the knowledge that they have about what they've gone through and pass that information on, to help others know that, hey, this isn't the road that you want to take, man. This is not the road that you want to take. Sometimes we're forced into it. Our hand is pushed to the point to where we're forced into it. But in all reality, this is not the road that you want to take. And like I said, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we will be here on Industry Talk on the Primetime Network. Lock in with me. We're going to have some great conversation. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we're going to have great guests that'll get on here and talk with us about their life and the things that they've got going on. And we're building our family. We're building our family. Everybody wants to call me when I'm on live, but I can't answer. I won't answer until after I get off this live. But we're going to have some great conversations going through 2026. And like I said, it's going to be a banner year. We're going to have a great year. And we're going to expose, we're going to rip the top off and pull back the scab on a lot of things that are going on. And we're going to talk about it. I want your opinion. I want your input. I want you to like, share, and subscribe. I want you to get on here and debate with me. So if you have some talk topics and you want to sit down and talk to me about how you feeling about different things, whether you agree with me or you don't agree with me, I don't give a damn. Let's have the conversation, because that's the only way that we can get some clarity about what's going on in our society, in life, and what we're dealing with in the streets. Make it make sense. And like always, beautiful people, with me, y'all already know, it's about health, wealth, and wellness. Stay dangerous, my people. Stay dangerous. You've been locked into another great episode of Primetime Pod. Major salute to our guest. And remember, ain't no time like primetime. This is your main man, Big G, with Industry Talk. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to our network, Primetime Pod. And as always, beautiful people, it's about health, wealth, and wellness.
Primetime Pod. Make sure you check it
Got a lot of fluff to think he missing. He's 8 and
And second feels a whole lot.
Now, I'm not trying to get a little messy with you.
Time is money.
out. There go Trap.